You know how in the last game against Villarreal, I talked about how I was crying for Lewy to be on the pitch because of how atrocious Ferran was. Well, yesterday there was an official announcement from the club saying Lewy will miss the Copa del Rey second leg final against ATLETI due to a fractured eye socket. It is not a good thing to start to think about a very important comeback game without the best 9 at the club at the age of 37, sadly, because a certain Spaniard named Ferran Torres, aka El Tiburon, aka the Shark, has decided to make us miss Lewandowski. It is quite unfortunate. It was not a good news to hear, especially with the fact that we'll have to do without our assistant captain, Frankie de Jong, for a large chunk of the season, about 4 to 6 weeks, almost 2 months. But back to the matter arising, we're going to have to attempt to come back from a 4-0 deficit against Atletico de Madrid. This is extremely difficult, not impossible. We have to be absolutely perfect to a T, and it is not something we have done this season. Even Flick admitted himself today in his pre-game presser that he has not been in a position where he had to come back from a 4-0 deficit. Comeback, we're actually the comeback kings of Spain. But when I say comeback kings, it is usually within the context of a single game, whereby we go 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3-0 down, and then we overturn the game and come back. But this is a different ball game entirely. And I don't think there's anyone in this squad that has experienced this type of game where we are going to attempt a remontada. The last time we came from behind to overturn a 4-0 deficit was against PSG. A lot of haters tried to say the ref was compromised, but we're able to do it. We beat PSG at the Camp Nou 7-1. So this game is an entirely different game because Simeone is not known to be a coach that will bottle a 4-0 lead. I stand to be corrected. But they have been a totally polarizing side this year. There have been games where they play and you see that they are European powerhouse, not just a Spanish powerhouse. You see some games like the game against Real Betis in the Copa del Rey where they beat them 5-0, the game against Barca 4-0, and then you see them, they go ahead and lose to Bodo Glimt. I know Bodo Glimt now have been quote-unquote one of the surprises of the year, but they have lost to, I can't recall, but there are winnable games that they have lost. They have lost heavily to Arsenal toward the Emirates. Heavily. I think about 4-1 or so. So are there reasons to believe in a comeback? Absolutely. There are so many reasons to believe in a comeback. Given the squad we have, scoring goals would always come easy. Scoring goals has always come easy to Hansi Flick's team since he took over from Xavi Hernandez. Scoring goals have never been a problem for FC Barcelona. It has been how much less are we going to concede? How many goals are we going to concede is the issue here. How are they going to handle the high demands of concentration that will be required of them to overturn a 4-0 deficit? This is a very, very young squad. Very, very young squad. But I think they are highly experienced, in my opinion. They have been through a lot. And if we can recall, the core of this team have been to the trenches. When I say trenches, the times where we were relegated to the Europa League under Xavi Hernandez. We've won league titles. We've won finals. We've lost finals too. The Supercopa, if we consider that a final, yes, it is a final technically. So this team, even though they are young, the core is very experienced, and we have some players in their prime. Players like Rafinha, players like Koundé, Araujo is just walking into his prime. Frankie, who is injured, and Pedri, even though he's just 23, he has been at the top level for about 6 seasons. Funny enough, he's one of the whole heads. Before Dro left, Dro has always said that Pedri was his idol in the team. It's funny to be someone's idol at 23. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm not going to use the age factor, because this is a clearly experienced squad. They might be very young. They call Lamine, Pau Kubarsi, Marc Bernal, Pedri, name it, Balde. They are all young stars in their own right, but they've been through a lot. Most of them have up to 100 appearances in the back. They have handled pressure, but this is another different dimension. This is another different level. 4-0 up against a team, even though Atleti are not the ultra defensive team we know them to be. I believe a comeback is possible. I know at the start of the game, at the end of the previous game, I was like, we're out. We might attempt to come back, but we're out. But as the game has drawn closer, the vibes I'm getting from the players and the vibes I'm getting from Flick absolutely believes. He doesn't know how it's going to come about, but in his mind, he thinks we can do it. The players think they can do it. The stadium have experienced it before. I mean, Camp Nou has been a fortress. If we can recall, in the 2013 season, I think we were 3-0 down at the San Siro in the first leg of the quarterfinals against AC Milan, and we were able to overturn it and win 4-0. Add that to the 4-0 we overcame against PSG. I think the fans, coolies in the stadium, are well and truly aware of what a comeback is. So it's not like we're just speaking what has not been into existence. It is something that we have done and we have seen our players do. So honestly, the players believe, Flick believe, the presidents believe, the fans believe. Why not? I mean, we have nothing to lose. And I saw a quote from Simeone's presser where he just said, this is the type of games you wait for all season long. I know he's ready for what we are going to throw at him. We know his approach to games is usually defense first, and I'm waiting to see how it will pan out. I'm actually excited. The players have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. We have to win, but not just win. We have to better them, which means at the very least, we should come into the game with the mindset that we are going to need at least 5 goals. At the very least 5 goals without conceding. It is a very, very, very Goliath monstrous task ahead of this young but experienced squad. Mind you, they are a squad of champions. In 100 games with Flick, they have won 75, which is very, very impressive. That's a 75% win rate with him. And the mentality of the squad has changed under him. So it is a great game. It is absolutely going to be a great game. Obviously, we are going to miss Frankie, Levy, as I said, and Gavi. Gavi is not yet up to speed. He's training with the squad, but he's not yet up to speed. And Flick said it would be too early for him to play against Atletico. But I think we can do without them. And I would like us to brainstorm on what the lineup should be and what Hansi Flick will line up with. So I want us to pick an 11, or predict an 11 rather. I don't have the power to pick an 11, but we're going to predict it. In goal, we all know who is starting, right? Wojciech Szczesny is just happy to be there. He's just happy to be there. And he doesn't mind sitting on the bench until he's absolutely needed. So Juan Garcia gets to start every game for us, because we're in the most crucial part of the season, and he's the best goalie we have. And in my opinion, the best goalie in Spain and the best goalie in the world. My opinion. At left back, I've been seeing a lot in the press in Spain from Mundo Deportivo saying that Flick will start João Cancelo, but in my opinion, Balde has held his own in the last game, and he's more defensively solid, far defensively solid than João Cancelo, even though he's not as good attacking. I believe he is the more balanced of the two. I rather have Balde's solidity. I'd rather trust Balde's solidity and be happy with whatever he might give in the attacking end than just rely on João Cancelo's attacking prowess and him not end up delivering. So I think João Cancelo. No, sorry. My bad. Alejandro Balde. I rather have Balde. I mean, we can always sub out Balde. We can always sub him out when we need him. But now at left centre back, Eric Garcia got a red card in the first leg, if we can remember, so he'll be suspended for this game. This is where, in my opinion, Araujo comes in. But at left centre back, Paul Kubashi, this is not even a question. He's always one of the first names on the team sheet. That's how important he has been. To partner him, I'll go with Araujo. We need him for his speed, his strength, his ability to tackle on 1v1, and his aerial ability. I'm predicting Simeone to start with Solot. Solot has been in absolutely great form for Atleti. I think he netted a hat-trick in the Champions League qualification knockout stage versus the Belgian champions Club Rouge, and in their last La Liga game, the game before that, he netted, I think, twice. So their last game, it was Alvarez, but Alvarez is not in form, so I expect Simeone to start Solot, and Araujo would be the perfect partner for Solot. At right back, Koundé. I know we've been crying all season about how Koundé has not been in form, but he has picked up the pace since the first leg against Atleti. Koundé has been playing at a high level. He even got an assist for Levy that was almost chunked off by VAR, but I appreciate what he has done, and our fullbacks seem to be getting in form at the right time of the season. We know we have been complaining about how their level have dropped, but Balde, with the resurgence in Cancelo's form, has actually picked up the pace, and I've seen that if he doesn't buckle up, he's going to lose his starting spot. Koundé just came back into form. He has not really had competition for his spot, but he's very talented, and he's a very committed professional, and he has been able to weather the bad form and get his mind straight, and I appreciate both of them. Now at the left of the two pivote, I would go with McBurnell. He has been in excellent form. He has been netting goals. He has been keeping it tidy in possession, and Casado has not been fit enough. It's been unfortunate for him. Casado has not seen a lot of game time, and the one time where he can be afforded game time, he has a niggling injury, and Flick admitted in the press conference that currently McBurnell is ahead of him in the pecking order because McBurnell has been giving solid performances, and he is fit and he is scoring goals too. He's keeping the possession tidy. He's breaking up plays where he can. So McBurnell gets the nod. Pedri is going to be partnered by McBurnell because I think the general of our midfield is Pedri himself, Don Pedri Gonzalez. At the attacking midfield spot, we all know Fermin. Even though Fermin hasn't been scoring lately, he's been creating and he's been contributing a lot to the press, to the midfield work, keeping tidy possession, distributing the ball, creating, trying to beat the press. He is ahead of Olmo for me in the pecking order by sheer will of his hard work, his commitment, his tenacity, and his contribution to the score sheet. He had 2 assists to Lamine in the last game, and he has about 31 goals contribution. He is the highest assister in our squad. So this is just me making a case for why I think he will start, and it is not just my opinion. I believe Flick sees him ahead of Olmo. At the left wing, we know who owns that spot, no doubt. Rafinha. He has had an inconsistent season, but he has scored 13 goals in all competition, and to so many people, he was the best player last year. To me, I believe it was between him, Pedri, and Lamine. I can't pick any, but if I was to pick, gun to my head, who was the best player last year for us, I would say Pedri. But if you say Rafinha, I'm not mad at that. I mean, he had about 60 goal contribution. At right wing, we know who it is. The golden boy of Barcelona, the new and young king of Camp Nou, the heir to the throne of Lionel Messi, Lamine Yamal. Now this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets absolutely tricky. Because Ferran has not been informed, and we can't afford to keep missing chances when this game will be determined by how clinical, straight to the point we are going to be. Playing Ferran, in my opinion, means we're leaving our fate to chance. Because when Ferran is given about 5 chances, I can guarantee you that he has a 1 in 5 chance of scoring a goal. For every 5 chances you create for Ferran, he will score 1. And that is not going to be good enough for a game of this magnitude. So I am appealing to Flick. Flick absolutely knows better than me. That's why he's the coach. But I don't want to see Ferran anywhere near the starting lineup. Maybe he comes in the second half. Maybe he comes in if there is an extra time. Which, in my opinion, I believe, if I'm going to be very honest, I believe this game goes to extra time. It goes to extra time, and then we can bank on Ferran. Because if the game should go to extra time, it means that there's a 50-50 chance that either team will make it at that time. So in my opinion, and also I don't even trust Rashford in that 9th position, because Rashford too is not that clinical in front of goal. If I am to pick who I think should start there, in my humble opinion, I would go with Dani Olmo. I don't know if this is a popular opinion, but Dani Olmo seems he has not played there this season, but he played false nine against Real Betis last year, if I'm not mistaken, in the semi or was it quarterfinals, and he dropped an absolute masterclass. I think he scored about 2 goals. This is my humble opinion. He will help us retain possession. He will play those little holes. Even though Atleti are going to play an absolute low block, I'm just predicting we're going to need a physical presence. Sadly, we don't have a physical presence, so we have to just play the ball to fit. And Dani Olmo's specialty is in tight spaces. He's that technical in the whole type of player, highly technical, and I believe he has the associative play to play with Rafinha and Lopez and Lamine. We get to suffocate them by having about 4 midfielders in the team, and we don't lose much of our attacking flair because we know almost dangerous in goal. Rafinha is dangerous in goal. Fermin is dangerous in goal. Lamine, the man on fire who scored the hat-trick, is dangerous. Bernal, if given the opportunity, will score goals too, because we have seen he has that cerebral finishing skill evident in the game against the game before Levante. I can't remember who the opponent is, but Bernal too, if you give him an opportunity, he will score goals. So in my humble opinion, this is how I think we're going to line up. But I think Flick might end up going with Rashford at the top 9, or even Ferran. One of the two are going to start. But in my opinion, it should be Olmo. And if Olmo should start also, I won't be surprised. So I've predicted my lineup, and I'm seriously hoping that Olmo starts in the false 9 role, because he seems to be the most reliable option for me. He has been playing, even though he has not been that good in the midfield, but as an attacker, I think I can take a gamble with him on that. And if it doesn't work, you switch it up. You bring in Ferran or you bring in Rashford. So it's not like it's the end all be all. And I'd like to predict the game. I said earlier that I believe it goes to extra time, because I think we will even though I don't know how the score makeup is going to be, but I believe it is going to be extra time. It might be 4-0 at full time and then we go to extra time, or it might be 5-1, because if Atleti get 1 goal, I believe it is going to awaken us. There's this something about Barcelona that they have to concede at least 1 to fire on all cylinders. I don't know. But I believe from the first whistle to the final whistle, they are going to run, they are going to press like hell, and they are going to try to come back. So I expect this game to go to extra time. 4-0 full time, extra time. It is going to be a level playing field for those involved. And the heart of a fan, I believe we make it to the Copa del Rey final. This is just my opinion. Nevertheless, I trust the team, I trust Flick, and I trust that the stadium is going to be buzzing. See you at full time with much joy, because I believe we must have made it to the final. So please like this video, subscribe, and I would like to know your opinion about the game in the comment section. It's your boy Barca Manager, and I leave you by saying Visca el Barça.